Hi students, welcome to lesson 24, Urban Problems, Overpopulation. Introduction. Urban growth is an intricate phenomenon which influences both socio-economical and environmental conditions. The influence can be both positive and negative. Great cities or urban centers provided a wide range of opportunities for the people to improve their socio-economical conditions, better health conditions, education and better lifestyle and so on. From the history, it is evident that the urban areas have provided an opportunity to improve people's living standards, improve socio-economical condition, and it also helped in reducing poverty. Urban growth has its own advantages in the sense of economical expansion, more living space, decreasing crime rates, and community extension between inhabitants. A large number of people, especially from the rural areas, are migrating to the urban areas with the hope of improving their living conditions. Due to heavy concentration of people in a limited geographical area or space may lead to various problems. Overpopulation in the urban areas would create undesirable influence on public health, quality of life, rising urban pollution, environmental degradation, and can disturb public amenities and social segregation. The urban problems like urban poverty, problems of housing, unemployment, and so on have drawn the attention of sociologists, economists, political scientists, and policy makers as well. In this lesson, we will discuss the causes and consequences of overpopulation in urban areas. Objectives. After reading this lesson, you will be able to explain the concept of social problems, explain the causes for overpopulation in urban areas, explain the consequences of overpopulation in urban areas, and explain the role of sociologists in urban planning. The growth of urbanization in India is basically through two ways. One is through natural increase in the urban population, and second is through migration of people from rural to urban areas. As the government of India has liberalized the economic policies in the year 1991, it witnessed rapid economic growth in the country, which led to rapid migration of rural population towards urban centers. In the year 1950, only about 30% of the world population lived in urban areas, which were increased to above 50% in 2012. It was estimated that by the year 2030, more than 70% of the world population will live in urban areas. In India, during 1901, there were 1,827 urban centers, which have increased to 7,933 urban centers as on 2011. The total population residing in the urban areas has increased from 2.58 crores to 37.71 crores in the year 2011. The National Commission of Population in India has predicted that by 2036, about 38.6% of the Indian population resides in urban areas. The United Nations has predicted that India's urban population will be nearly double between 2018 to 2050 from 461 to 877 million. With the implementation of economic reforms and liberalization of economic policies from 1991, the number of urban centers has increased from 4,615 to 7,933 centers in 2011. In the year 1951, there were only 5 cities with more than 1 million population, which has increased to 53 cities by 2011. It is estimated that by 2031, there will be 70 cities with more than 1 million population. In 2011, there were only 3 cities. named Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata with more than 10 million population. It is estimated that there will be 6 cities with more than 10 million population by the year 2030. The urban centers contribute to 2/3 of the national income. It is estimated that between 2019 to 2030, 70% of the new employment opportunities or jobs will be generated in the urban centers. In the post-independence period, migration from rural areas to urban areas has led to expansion of cities and suburban areas. The urban areas are the centers of opportunities to improve socio-economical condition as well the centers with various problems. Hence, it is necessary to note the causes and consequences of overpopulation in urban areas. Causes for overpopulation. The causes for overpopulation in urban areas can be classified into 2 types: natural growth in population and migration of people from rural areas to urban areas. Now let us discuss about natural growth in population. The causes for natural population growth are: the first one is decline of death rate, and the birth rate being constant is one of the major cause for population growth. The crude birth rate in India has decreased from 38.82 to 17.85 in the year 2018. At the same time, the mortality rate in India has decreased from 16.73 in the year 1971 to 7.23% in 2018. The fertility rate in India has been falling due to the implementation of population policies and other measures taken by the government. In spite of the measures taken, the population growth is much higher compared with other countries. The second one is the population growth in India is also associated with certain social factors. Child marriage and early marriage have largely contributed to the problem of overpopulation. UNICEF has estimated that every year 1.5 million girls in India get married before they attain the age of 18 years. In India, marriage is considered as a social obligation and hence every person needs to get married, especially women. Next one is social attitudes, beliefs and norms of Indians also favor an increase in population. Social issues like poverty, illiteracy, ignorance, absence of recreational facilities, conservatism, orthodoxy, dependence on God, a sense of resignation towards life, belief that children take care of the parents during their old age are also responsible for population growth. The next one is natural calamities. Natural calamities like droughts, famines, earthquakes and so on, along with communicable diseases like cholera, plague, influenza, smallpox, malaria and so on have acted as a natural check against population growth. But with the advancement in technology and modern science, the communicable diseases have been put under control, which led to the growth of population. Advancement in medical sciences and increase in availability of medical services to the people have considerably reduced the prevalence of communicable diseases, which resulted in low mortality rates. Untiring efforts of medical scientists and doctors have resulted in finding solutions for various health issues across the globe. Presently, the world is facing the pandemic, COVID-19. Doctors across the globe are working tirelessly to find the medicine for this COVID-19 virus. Some of the countries have been successful in developing the vaccine. India has also come up with its own vaccine, for example, Covaxin and Covishield. In the past, few couples could not have children due to health problems. With the improved fertility treatments, it made possible for couples to have children. Since 1978, 6 million couples across the globe have opted for IVF method and have been blessed with children. Advancement in transport facilities has helped people to avail medical facilities and health facilities across the globe without much difficulty. This helped in saving countless lives. This also contributed to increase in population. With the advancement in agriculture sector, increased use of high yielding seeds, fertilizers and chemicals, and excessive use of technology has contributed to the increase in food production. Advancement in industrial sector has generated employment opportunity for a large section of people. The development in both the sectors have created hope and confidence among the people that they can afford and satisfy all the needs and also feed more people, which contributed to increase in population. So now let us discuss about the second type of which contributed to overpopulation. Migration of people from rural areas to urban areas. According to Census Report 2011, 450 million people have migrated within the country, of which 78 million people have migrated from rural India to urban India. Migration of people from rural areas to urban areas depend upon various factors. Ravestein has put forward the idea of push and pull factors of migration. Push factors of migration. Certain factors like poverty, unemployment, lack of facilities, natural calamities like earthquake, cyclones, prone areas, political unrest, and so on force the people to migrate from the place of residence to another places. Pull factors of migration. Certain factors like better educational facilities, employment opportunities, health facilities, better lifestyle, fair chances to avail facilities, and so on attract the people towards the urban centers. Now let us discuss about the consequences of overpopulation. The Government of India and respective governments at the state level have been designing and implementing various programs for the overall development of people as well of the state and the country. In spite of 7 decades of continuous efforts, the scenario of the country has not reached as expected. Some of the effects of overpopulation are: the first one is unemployment. Generating employment opportunity for a country with huge population is a Herculean task, and when a significant number of its population is illiterate, unskilled, it becomes hurdle for the nation in creating employment opportunities. According to Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, the overall unemployment in India as on June 2021 is 23.52%, of which the urban unemployment is 10.07%. Madan has mentioned 3 factors for unemployment. The first one is personal factors like physical disability, defective education and training, age factors, and so on. The second one is technological and economical factors, where the people are not technically sound. The third one is mass migration. Unemployment has many evil effects on the individual, family, and community at large. An individual, after completion of education, if he does not find a job, may lead to frustration, psychological problems, and may be prone to become delinquent. At the family level, if a person becomes unemployed, he will not be able to satisfy the needs of the family members. It may lead to malnutrition, negative effects on children education, indebtedness, and on personality development of the children. Due to less number of employment opportunities, the unemployed on rise in India. It can also be contributed to economic depression and slow growth and expansion activities in the secondary and tertiary employment sector. This leads to underutilization of human resources. The next one is pressure on infrastructure. The government has been implementing various programs in order to develop infrastructural facilities across the country. In spite of tremendous efforts, the development of infrastructural facilities is not in pace with the growth of population, which resulted in lack of transportation, communication, housing, education, healthcare, and so on. There has been an increase in the number of slums, overcrowded houses, traffic congestion, and so on. The next one is resource utilization. With the expansion of cities and increased population in the urban centers, the natural resources, land area, water resources, forests, and so on are being overexploited. At the same time, there is also scarcity of resources in the urban centers. The next one is decreased production and increased prices. In India, as per the census reports 2011, 57% of the total population depend upon agriculture sector for livelihood. In spite of more than half of the Indian population employed in the primary sector, the country is not in a position to provide food for all the people. Food production and distribution have not been able to catch up with the increasing population, which led to increased prices. Inflation is the major consequence of overpopulation. The next one is inequitable income distribution. The urban centers have created employment opportunities for a large section of people. With too much industrialization and mechanization, there exists division of labor based on specializations, which gives scope to unequal distribution of income, and inequalities within the country widens. The next one is housing problem. Shelter is a basic human requirement. People are physically and psychologically associated with their dwellings. It is a place where the individuals feel secure and protected. Houses protect the inhabitants from the forces of nature. Housing covers all the supplementary services and community facilities which are essential to human well-being. It includes water supply, sanitation and disposal of water, recreation and other basic amenities of life. Housing is one of the social problems that arose with the increase in urban population. The housing problems is manifested in overcrowding and poor and inadequate social amenities, unsatisfactory environmental conditions, absence of open space, and so on. According to Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations Report 2020, the shortage of houses in urban India has risen from 18.78 million in 2012 to 54% in the year 2018. As per the report, 29 million people in the urban areas are residing in the congested places. According to the Human Development Report 2000, housing problems result mainly from unprecedented growth of urban population. The next one is growth of slums. According to Slum Areas Improvement and Clearance Act 1956, Section 3, it defines that slum is as the areas where houses are in any respect unfit for human habitation and are by reason of dilapidation, overcrowding, faulty arrangement, narrowness or faulty arrangement of streets, lack of ventilation, sanitation facilities, or any combination of these factors which are detrimental to safety, health and morals. Rapid growth of congested slums is a serious problem in urban India. The settlements are built with gunny bags, polythene sheets in congested areas near railway lines, industries and markets. The low income forces people to live in slums. Slum areas usually lack basic infrastructure like drains, drinking water, electricity and so on. As per Census Report 2011, 6.5 crore population lives in slums in India. Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh undivided has 118 lakh and 102 lakh people staying in the slum areas respectively. According to World Bank data 2018, 35% of the urban population in India resides in slum areas. The next one is crime. Urbanization, rapid economic liberalization, mass political upheaval, inadequate and inappropriate policies are the basis for crime in the urban areas. Poverty, unemployment and inequality caused due to rising expectations and a sense of moral outrage has contributed for growing crime rates. Growing unemployment among youth often results in growing drug and alcohol consumption, which is one of the key factors for committing crime. Families with low income, broken families, disorganization in the families may lead to deviant behavior. Many studies have proved that neglect of parents to socialize the children properly, broken families and dysfunctional families are the main cause for juvenile delinquency. In the urban areas, conflicts most frequently emerge out of land issues which account for 50% of all offences in the cities. However, no single factor can be attributed to crime. The causes may vary from individual to individual and place to place. The next one is pollution. Our towns and cities are major polluters of the environment. Several cities discharge 40 to 60% of their entire sewage and industrial effluents untreated into the nearby rivers. Urban industry pollutes the atmosphere with smoke and toxic gases from its chimneys. All this increases the chances of diseases among the people living in the urban centers. According to UNICEF, lakhs of urban children die or suffer from diarrhea, tetanus, measles and so on because of poor sanitary conditions and water contamination. As a long-term remedy, what is needed is using new techniques of waste collection, new technology for garbage disposal and fundamental change in the municipal infrastructure and land use planning. The next one is air pollution. Air pollution is the contamination of the air by harmful gases, dust, smoke particles in high concentration which endangers health. The combustion of gasoline and other hydrocarbon fuels in automobiles, trucks and jet airplanes produces several primary pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, gaseous, hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide. In the industrial areas, fossil fuels, particularly coal, is one of the major sources of energy and contribute to air pollution in the form of suspended particulates. The urban household generally uses LPG gas, while the households of lower income use coal, kerosene and biomass fuels which are highly polluting, and due to poor ventilation it deteriorates indoor air quality and health. Air pollution has severe health problems like eye irritation, throat irritation which are short-term problems, and lung disease and heart attacks which may have a long-term effect on the health of the people. The next one is water pollution. Water pollution is also one of the major problems in the urban areas, which is the result of increased human activities and interference with the natural ecosystems. In India, the major water bodies, both surface and underground, are not only diminishing but are increasingly getting polluted due to human interventions. The water bodies are contaminated due to wastage coming from factories, refineries, waste treatment plants, power plants and coal mines. Excessive usage of fertilizers and chemicals in agriculture sector is also one of the cause for water pollution. The domestic sewage also contains disease-causing microbes. With rapid urbanization and industrialization, huge quantities of contaminated water enter into river. All water pollutants are hazardous to both human beings as well as to the other species. Sodium leads to cardiovascular disease, nitrates in blood disorders, mercury and lead may cause nervous disorders. Polluted water can cause liver and nerve damage, skin eruptions, vomiting, fever, diarrhea and fetal abnormalities. The urban centers have been turned into concrete jungles, resulting in degradation of underground water bodies, thus resulting in low availability of per capita water resource due to falling underground water bodies associated with indiscriminate use of water. The next one is soil pollution. According to Environmental Pollution Center, soil pollution is the presence of toxic chemicals, pollutants or contaminants in soil in high enough concentrations to pose a risk to human health or the ecosystem. Industrial activity has become the greatest contributor of soil pollution across the globe, including India. The common cause of soil pollution includes hazardous wastage, mining as well as littering, non-sustainable farming practices and so on. The next one is noise pollution. The main factors contributing to noise pollution are vehicles, industrial activities, various electrical appliances and sources of entertainment such as musical systems, televisions and so on. Urban dwellers are subjected to excessive noise. Most urban people live, work or play around noise for sufficient duration of time, which may cause permanent hearing loss. Noise pollution can cause health as well as psychological problems. The next one is traffic congestion. In the urban areas, majority of the people use public transportation like buses, metro rails, while few use tempos, autos and so on. The increasing number of two-wheelers and four-wheelers has made the traffic problem worse. They cause air pollution as well. Moreover, the number of buses plying the metropolitan cities is not adequate and commuters have to spend long hours to travel. The next one is power shortage. Power supply has remained insufficient in a majority of the urban centers in India. Excessive use of electrical products, electrical gadgets have increased in India and especially in urban India. New industrial establishments are depending more upon electricity for operational purpose. With the increased dependency on electricity, there is a huge demand for electricity production and supply. However, as the demand and supply is not met, resulting in power shortage. Conflict over power supply between two states often creates severe power crisis for people in the cities. The next one is health. Health is fundamental to one's progress as well to the national progress in any sphere. Loss of health affects productivity as well as efficiency in the national production. With the rapid urbanization and increase of population in urban areas where major chunk resides in the slums, which are usually overcrowded, have no access to safe drinking water, sanitation, safe accommodation and often lack access to basic services, are prone to health problems. As per the estimates, 30 to 40% of the urban population resides in slum areas, and these people need greater attention for improving their health conditions. All the discussed urban problems are because of migration and over-urbanization, industrial growth, apathy and inefficiency of the administration and defective town planning. The governments can address these issues by having sound policies for creating employment opportunities, town planning, encouraging industries to move to backward areas by providing incentives, adopting a pragmatic housing policy, decentralization of self-government and so on. Summary. Let us conclude. In this lesson, so far we have studied the concept of social problems, especially overpopulation in urban areas. We have learned that there are two main causes for urban population growth. One being natural increase in population due to decrease in mortality rate and fertility rate being greater than mortality rate. And secondly, due to migration of people from rural areas to urban areas. Overpopulation gives rise to a variety of problems such as poverty, unemployment, pollution, housing problems, rise in slums and so on. A large number of people, especially unskilled and economically downtrodden, who have migrated to urban areas hoping that they will have a better opportunity, improve their socio-economical condition, could not realize their dreams. Majority of the people reside in the slums areas which are constructed in congested areas nearby railway lines, industries, markets and so on. The urban slums are marked by deplorable living conditions and lack basic civic amenities and facilities, which can be the cause for high morbidity. Environmental degradation due to increased air, water, soil and sound pollution have adverse effects on the health of the people.